Yes, I'm going to try. I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
when I tell you that meat was so delicious and so tender, I said, "How do they prepare it?" He said, "They just boil it." I said, "What are they seasoning with?" He said, "Salt." I said, "Y'all got some different salt in South Africa because our salt don't do this to food.
Yeah.
Our salt don't taste like this. Like, what do y'all got going on?" But it was absolutely delicious. So I'm saying that to say all the food everywhere that I ate was very good, very very good, very delightful. Yeah, but I felt my
Excellent.
spirit land in Durban, and I know that it's the place that I am supposed to be. I know that that's the place that I'm supposed to transition, soft land my family to the continent.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you say that because yes, we live in Johannesburg.
Hmm.
Been here 20 years, but it's just like every time I turn around, every time me and Tasha turn around, we're back in Durban for
Okay.
some odd reason or not. Even if it's just something we got to do for the day, we like we're gonna be here like 3 days. We just stay 3 days, 4 days, just because it's Durban and whatnot. And then of course, people. We just recently did a real estate tour there. People, because honestly, people didn't know what Durban was. I say 3 years ago, at least to us, because we put it out and people were like, "What is Durban?" I mean, these are the messages that we get.
Yeah.
Tasha, you remember? Tell her.
I know what they were saying. Where's Durham? Where's Durham? I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
be like it's in the KwaZulu-Natal province, and they're like, "What is that?" I'm like, "The home of the Zulus." And then you start explaining it to them, and you show it to them. They're like, "Oh!" And then you
Yeah.
say it's on the Indian Ocean, and it's always warm. And then we start going down there and showing them. And then it's like, I think I might want to. I think I might want to see that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah.
And I can believe that because everybody that I've spoken with about it, they've heard of Cape Town, they've
Yeah,
heard
of
of
course.
Johannesburg, they've heard of Zimbabwe, Durban. Where is that? So
Mm,
yeah, I'm not shocked that you guys had that reaction, and this is what you do. So yeah, I've
yeah.
gotten that a lot. Yeah,
And so you enjoyed Durban. I like that.
I enjoyed the whole trip. Don't
Sure.
please don't discount Cape Town, but
Oh yeah,
Durban is,
absolutely.
yeah, this Durban is where my heart is, and you know I feel like, you know, how you look at things online and you wonder when people are telling their testimony, is it a paid testimony? Is it for real? I'm here to tell you all, it's for real. So I went as
Yeah.
a solo traveler and I felt extremely safe um, as a solo traveler, as a woman traveler, as an African American woman traveler. Um, I had excursions on my itinerary that
Mhm.
literally I had to be in the car at 6 a.m. So that meant I would be alone in the car for at least 2 hours going up to Aquila Game Preserve, or when I
Mhm.
was in, and that was in Cape Town, and then in Durban, going up to St. Lucia to the water preserve. So, you know, you had to have a level of trust to be in the car by yourself, you know, with
Yeah,
a
in a
driver,
foreign country.
yeah, in a foreign country, people you didn't know, and I felt so comfortable. Everybody that you all have built relationships with were extremely professional, extremely kind, and everybody said the same thing to me in the car. Like, if you want to talk, there's no question that's off limits. They were wanting to share about their experience. They were wanting to share about what the continent, their specific country, had to offer. And everybody was just forthcoming. And you know, as we were driving anywhere we were going, you know, they were explaining this and explaining that. But I felt extremely safe when I landed in Durban. It was, you know, almost getting to the evening. I literally had my stuff put down in the hotel, and I left the room and started walking around. This is like in a metropolitan downtown area. It felt very very safe. Not one time did I feel like, let me tell you something I did and let you know exactly where I was.
Okay.
When I was in Cape Town, I was getting ready to go to dinner one evening, and so I stepped right outside of my room, my suite. Okay, we'll get to that, luxury suites. Okay, okay.
Okay.
But I stepped right outside of my suite to put my little selfie stick up, take a few pictures, and I put the latch in the door so the door wouldn't close and lock me out. I'm taking pictures and completely forgot to go back and close the door. I'm gone to dinner for a couple of hours, come back, door is open. Nothing is taken. Nothing looks disturbed. Nothing. I would never, ever, ever, ever in the Atlanta area or any surrounding areas ever. So that just lets you know how calm I was because I can't even get out of the car without automatically locking. I come into a door, I'm going to automatically. For me to have my guard down that much, I hope that gives everybody listening or looking the sense of how safe I felt. All of the hotel staff were amazing, very accommodating, very nice. Any and everything I thought I could ask for or need, they were, wanting to share. They were also wanting to know about me. So it
Yeah.
wasn't, I didn't feel like, okay, you're a tourist and I have to take care of you. I'm trying to get a tip. No, it wasn't that. It was, they were really curious about my trip, why I was coming there, who I was, sharing who they were. It was just one of the most warm experiences that I've ever had. Everybody, the drivers, the tour guides, when I got to the excursions, the people that were in charge of the excursions, everybody was exceptionally friendly and it felt genuine to me because they didn't have to, but it felt really, really genuine.
Well, I would say that we, on our end, because we're here, because we can't just jump up today and just fly to these locations or go to these locations throughout the country. Um, we do build these relationships. We do stop in. We do talk to our people. If something isn't right or we think something isn't right, we make the changes. Like something as simple as having a bath towel in your room is important. So we make sure that they do that, because they're used to dealing with European travelers and people don't realize that. And so we do. So European travelers, they have a different level of doing things. But I know us African Americans, I'm not going to say we're special, but we like certain things.
You
Things
like
have to
certain
be,
things.
yeah, they have to be a certain way. And I think that's where, Tasha probably can tell you better, but I think that's when people come on our tours, they're just, you know, they're so floored and they're like, I couldn't have done this myself. I couldn't have.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
like,
Yes, it's no way because my itinerary was packed
uh-huh.
every day that there was something to do in the morning and in the evening, and every every experience was curated. I felt like I know other people that come to travel with you all, they go to some of the same places, but the level of detail and attention that you put into building a package for someone, it felt very customized. It felt very individualized for me. And I
Hmm.
could feel the care, right? So every day it was something, all of the things that you're supposed to see. It's no way. I don't feel like, and I feel like, I do a little okay when I try to plan
Yeah.
travel for myself, but it's no way that I would have gotten all of the things, all of the key points that you would want to see while you're traveling in South Africa. All of those were there. And then a couple of days, this is how I know you guys have good relationships with the people that you partner with, or they respect you as a partner. So in a couple of days, one in Cape Town as well as South Africa, the weather just would not cooperate for what was
Mhm.
planned for that day on the tour. And both drivers slash tour guides in Cape Town as well as Durban, they could have easily said, okay, well, we're going to take you back to the hotel. I don't know what we're going to do. They pivoted so quick. And this is probably some of the most special moments on my trip because I got to see some things that were not necessarily on the itinerary, but they were so accommodating and wanting to share who they were and their country. They took me to some amazing places. So I like, in Cape Town, I got to go to the Castle of Good Hope. I got to go to an
Mhm.
ostrich farm. I got to go to where they tell you about how the diamonds are mined and see, how they go through the process. I got a chance to go places that just were not on the itinerary because of the weather that day. And I thought that was really cool and amazing. And then in Durban, I got the opportunity to visit some of the townships. And so I viewed some properties while I was there too. And this particular driver, I asked, I said, well, you kind of was with us yesterday and You drove us around to all of the amazing properties, and now I see these townships. Where's the middle? I want to see where the middle is. He said, "Do you
Hmm.
really?" This is the same gentleman that took me to get beef, right? So he drove me to the neighborhood, like a neighborhood that he was familiar with, that he'd grown up in. He took me to the Muslim Museum. He took me to down on the side of the beaches where he showed me where it was segregated.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today. If you like what you saw, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the notifications button so you don't miss out on all things the real South Africa. Thanks again.